Yeah.
Yep, we're good.
Okay. I'm going to be giving what I've found, showing what I've found in the Las Choyas Geodes from Aldama Municipality, Chihuahua, Mexico. Um,
Excuse me, sorry, volume's pretty low on my end. Maybe it's because I'm in Hawaii. It's a long ways, you know.
you might try turning your volume up. I can't get any closer to my microphone, and I'm half yelling now already.
Okay,
So,
no worries then. I'll just put my ear up to the screen because I got it on full blast too. Okay, thanks.
For whatever it's worth, it's really low for me too, and I'm in Virginia.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm in Oregon, so that must be why. So, okay, I'm up a little bit closer. Is that a little bit better?
That's better.
Okay. I hope.
Definitely better.
Okay, the uncracked geodes I purchased from Gem Center USA. And I got interested in these because of a vendor that came to our rock show and was selling the geodes and letting the kids crack them. And they had such wonderful, interesting things inside that I said to myself, I need some of those. So it was love at first sight, you might say. I also explained that I'm not very good at identifying minerals, so I've used MinDat. And some of them are still very unknown to me, I guess I'd say. My setup for taking pictures, some of you have seen already because of other presentations. I have a Canon TI6 with the AC adapter that I put on very rapidly after starting to take pictures and kept running the batteries down, sometimes not even able to finish one large stack. But so AC adapter is necessary. A Canon 1:5 zoom, macro zoom lens. 4 IKEA LED lights. 2 are on the left side and 2 are on the right side. I use vellum report covers from Office Depot as light diffusers, and I've also started using tracing paper because it's cheaper. I do have my camera mounted on a stack shot rail. Camera and rail support, that's this gray thing here, the base and then the upright, is something I found at Surplus Gizmos. It's a place that sells all kinds of industrial stuff, surplus stuff. And then I have in the past used some stages down here to move my mineral specimen around, but I found that it is a lot faster just using a large piece of mineral tack that's gotten really dirty and just setting my specimens on it angled the way I want. So I've sort of quit using the stages. I recently, over the last year, got a gaming laptop. It's faster, it has more memory for photography and stacking. And I find that by the time I've got one stack shot, the last stack is stacked, and I can just keep going. So I would suggest that if anybody wants to stack mineral pictures. Serene Stacker is what I use. I know a lot of people suggest other things, but I like Serene, and I think I'm going to stick with it, at least for now. I do transfer my photos over onto my desktop computer. It has a 27-inch monitor for color correcting and cropping, and I use Photoshop Elements for that color correcting and cropping. The known minerals in these from a list of from MinDat and some references here in case anybody's interested in looking up a little bit more. The starred ones are ones that I have found, or I believe I've found, let's put it that way. And so I've only got a couple more to be able to do. And so it's coming together. I almost have a full suite. And I may have some of these first two, look more on MinDat like they might be the part of the matrix stuff in these things. So, and I've got plenty of matrix. The area, geology and the geodes, it's a desert area. Feldspar-rich ashflow tuff altered to morolite clay, volcanic ash deposited in inland sea waters, underlain by a Cretaceous limestone. The Libras Formation is 44 million years old. They were first discovered in 1960, and the first production went out in 1965. It's called the El Mesteño claim. The mine depth averages 100 feet, and currently it's owned by the Hector Carrillo family, Gem Center USA. You can buy them off the web in case you're interested. The geodes are only about 20% hollow, and of course, those are the only ones I'm interested in. So I need to be sure to request those when I purchase them and have them send them to me, or I pick them up in Tucson. The inside walls consist of either siderite or chalcedony, quartz variety. Should say that the outside walls consist of siderite, chalcedony, etc. The interior quartz, calcite, and various iron and manganese oxide and others. And shortly after knowing I was going to want to break these things open, we bought one of those soil pipe cutters that you can get, the old-fashioned type when they used to do cast iron soil pipe. And my husband Paul, who's here in the picture, built our geode cracker frame to hold the geode cracker so we could crack them. And so we sit outside, we put a tarp down. This is a staged picture. We usually have a tarp down to catch all the bits and pieces. And I'm the one operating the handle, and he's operating the chain that breaks them. So. The interior and exterior of a typical geode. You can see what it looks like on the inside and what it looks like on the outside. So, but the insides are what I'm interested in. So, quartz, you find quartz, or amethyst. And I'll mention also the pictures down here. The number LC means Las Choyas Geodes. It's picture number 119, and the field of view is 4.5 millimeters. And so you can always check down there to see what the field of view of a particular picture is. So quartz for amethyst. Quartz maybe. This is really a pretty interior on this. It shades from the gray blue to this pink to this tannish yellowish color. And so, but I don't know exactly what it is. I think it's quartz, but I think there's some sort of a coating on it, and it changes color across the geode. So it's really something interesting. Again, what may be quartz, maybe calcite. I have some problems with some of the shapes with quartz and calcite when they come, when they aren't their standard shapes, or at least they don't look to me like the standard shape. Again, quartz or calcite, I'm not sure, but it has these wonderful either etched or growth areas that really stand out, and they're really pretty. Again, another one that I'm not sure whether it's quartz or calcite, but again, some of the growth patterns or etchings, I'm not sure which on those. They're really, like I said, really, really pretty. Some of the crystals are covered with kaolinite and quartz, and maybe something else. This little bud right here, right in the center. I don't know exactly what that is, because it's all covered up. Again, some kaolinite coating on quartz. Quartz that I can recognize as quartz. And again, some of the shading from, just an opaque to a white, and sometimes into a gray. Calcite. This is one of the prettiest calcites that I found in there. Don't find a whole lot of that are sticking up single like this, and it's really, really a nice one. Again, what I think is calcite. I'm more comfortable with it being calcite, but a little bit of amethyst over here on the side. opal, I think. There are a few that seem to have opal in them, and it seems to have maybe a coating or something on it too. Maybe an apatite on quartz. Uh, Again, I'm not 100% sure about this little guy up here, but I thought he looked sort of cute perched on that. Again, have to excuse me. When I talk, I start coughing, so my throat dries out and I start coughing. So I'll try to keep it to a minimum. But maybe some other appetites on quartz, maybe. This was the cute one. It was this little dumbbell-looking thing sitting right on top of some others, and had to broaden out to a 9.5 millimeter field of view in order to get this one. Hematite on siderite and other things on quartz. There's some funny little things here that might be a hematite blade or something. There's an arrow pointing there, and then there's an arrow up here that's pointing to a dark blade that I didn't catch enough of the color, so I don't know exactly for sure what it is, but it's and here's an inset showing that some of that close up. Todorokite, maybe. On todorokite in a lot of these geodes. And I think it's a coating, that's what this coating is on quartz. But there are all these other little things that I don't know what are going on. The todorokite is just that rough-looking coating that's sitting on there. Quartz with todorokite and maybe some other different kinds of coatings. Since this is the tannish color of todorokite, I don't know what the blue is. Now maybe it's more todorokite, I'm not sure. It seems to blend right into it on the crystals, or the quartz crystals, but I'm not sure. Bertite coating on quartz. You find a lot of different coatings inside these things. This one again is broadened out to 7 millimeters in order to get a good shot. Calcite on goethite. A lot of goethite in these things. Calcite on goethite on quartz, bar amethyst. So you get these different levels of growth within these geodes, which make them interesting too. Gypsum, probably, with some sort of a coating, whether it's todorokite or something else, I'm not sure. I'll go back to that one real quick. And that's a 14 millimeter shot, so it's all the way going up on my macro zoom lens. It's going all the way up to 1 times instead of 5 times, where I usually shoot and get the 4.5 millimeter shots. And I do crop, so that's why you'll find some of these funny looking sizes, 6.75 millimeters on this one that I crop down to what I want to see. Gypsum, maybe, on the center on quartz. Rancite or pyrolusite. I have trouble. They look an awful lot alike from what I've seen. Some of them are hairy, some of them are smooth. Needles to smooth, and so I have trouble deciding which one I'm looking at, or it may be both for all I know. But on quartz, little guys, and some of them you can see interesting reflections along this side of this crystal, edge of this crystal. This one I was fairly sure it's rancite, but not 100%, but rancite or pyrolusite on quartz. And here you can see some of the needle ones, needle-shaped spheres. Again, rancite or pyrolusite. This is more of a smooth one. Maybe some little needles down here at the bottom and maybe up here on top of it on quartz. Ramstellite. Find a lot of ramstellite in these in various shapes and forms. Again, a little ramstellite. This is 1 millimeter field of view, so you know that that ramstellite is not very big. A group of ramstellite, field of view 2.5 millimeters. Ramstellites in general are not very big. There are some bigger, but in general they're little. A Gertite blade up here at the top, and maybe a Gertite needle, or if I'm looking sideways at it, I'm not 100% sure. With a coating on it of something, whether it's calcite or what, I'm not sure. It could be opal. It seems awfully smooth, so maybe opal. Gertite blades on and in quartz. It grew out of this whole mess here of quartz, and then I think maybe a little bit of a quartz coating on this one edge. And the Gertite blades sometimes could be hematite. They just didn't pick up the goldish reddish color that hematite does. Here we're going to find some more of that todorokite coating on ramstellite, on a Gertite blade, and ramstellite on a Gertite blade without the todorokite coating, right next to each other. Todorokite on ramstellite on a Gertite blade, or Gertite blades, I should have had there. Going to be a number of pictures because it comes in all kinds of forms. It's so interesting. I love finding these. Quartz, little teeny quartz up here, I think, on Gertite blade needles, excuse me, on Gertite needles on quartz. It's probably Gertite underneath these crystals here too. But here it's the needles, nice sharp needles. This is my, I like to think of as maybe a Christmas tree. That's todorokite on the Gertite needles. Here's some todorokite again on ramstellite. You can see the little black ramstellites in there on something on quartz. This is an inset from one of the areas on there. That's this guy over here on the right-hand side. And that's the field of view of the main picture is 3 millimeters. Here's another detail from that. This is 1.25 millimeters. You can see the little ramstellite sticking out underneath the todorokite. And another detail of that one too. This is 2 millimeters field of view. Todorokite on quartz, and heaven only knows what else might be underneath there. The todorokite sometimes covers everything up, so you don't know what you've got. You might have a hematite blade in there, or anything and everything could be underneath there. And here's a todorokite that just was sticking out there in thin air. It wasn't covering anything, which surprised me greatly. Todorokite on Gertite blades on quartz, and something here. I'm not sure exactly what it is. It's I put an inset picture there. Todorokite on, I don't know, on quartz. So todorokite covers lots of different things, which is very, very interesting. Todorokite on ramstellite on Gertite and on quartz. So you again have all these different layers of growth of different things. That's 3 millimeters field of view. This is one I think of as a screw that somebody didn't quite get the full blade cut through the screw, the top there. Well, it's at the bottom of the picture, but anyway, todorokite on ramstellite on Gertite blades on quartz. And this is the one I like to use for my background Again, tadorokite on ramsdellite on goethite on quartz. This one, this picture over on the right-hand side is 1.5 millimeters. I need to go find this one and retake the picture because it didn't come out as well as I'd like. It's a hollandite needle with a cryptolemane crown. They're very rare in these things, but Mindad has a picture of one of these. It's on quartz. Tadorokite on hollandite, probably hollandite needles. Once it covers it up, a little hard to tell for sure, but it looks more like the shape of a hollandite needle than a goethite needle, hematite needle. So on what I think is calcite. Ramsdellite on hollandite needles. Don't find as many hollandite needles, but they are there in these things. That's a 2 millimeter picture. Again, ramsdellite on hollandite needles with tadorokite coating down here towards the center of the needle. 3 millimeter field of view. Ramsdellite on hollandite needles. They can grow anywhere on them, up on the top, on the middle, the ends. Again, tadorokite on ramsdellite on goethite blades on quartz bar amethyst. And it makes these funny little strings that come out sometimes where it's covering a set of crystals, but it makes these little strings that come out across to sort of, you know, looks scraggly around the edges. Again, tadorokite on ramsdellite on goethite on quartz. And there may be something else. I'm not sure what the white is. Some of them look like they may be reflections, but not all of them. These look like they are not reflections, so maybe some of these others are not either. Opal, there's a sphere of opal wrapping around this tadorokite on quartz. And heaven only knows what else is underneath there. Again, tadorokite on, I don't know, on quartz bar amethyst. Tadorokite on heaven only knows, on quartz bar amethyst. And the amethyst maybe has a coating on it because it's not quite as clear as a lot of the other amethyst is. This is what I call a tadorokite cup. It's concave. It probably came off of something in the cracking of the geode. And so this is really concave. This is the inside that would be against whatever it was that was growing on the other half. And tadorokite also comes in needle forms in these things. Rare, but I did find a few that had tadorokite needles. Again, some tadorokite needles with some other things like might be paralusite or rancite down here and over here on the right hand side. Quartz on tadorokite, on goethite blades, on quartz. Again, a number of different layers of growth inside these geodes. Siderite on quartz. This is 1 millimeter field of view. Siderite and a hollandite, or might be a goethite or hematite needle on quartz. It does have a little bit of reddish coating, reddish look towards the end, but it could be a hollandite needle. Another very rare one, mordenite, filling one of the insides of these geodes. And another picture of some mordenite. Goethite needles, and I don't know what, and quartz. This side had some interesting either growth or etch patterns. I'm not sure which. This is a goethite inclusion in quartz. It's probably calcite, or maybe calcite, but maybe quartz. I'm not sure. But it gets very interesting looking when you have these coated, these airtight needles coated with a clear mineral. A airtight inclusion in quartz, and I call this an alien astronaut. These are reflections in there, and I just think it looks like an alien astronaut. Some sort of a coating on gritite needles. They have the reddish tips here, so I think they're gritite rather than hollandite. And there's some other things here, some spheres here and there in there too. Ramsdellite on hollandite needles or gritite needles. They've got a red coating, but they look more like the hollandite, not red coating, but a red reflection off of them. But I think they're hollandite. And here you'll notice that the shape of the ramsdellite is different. It's cylinder shaped rather than those space needle like up at Seattle, the Seattle Space Needle. Ramsdellite on hollandite needles. Here, again, you see the little ramsdellites in the cylinder shape on hollandite needles. Maybe growing through the quartz. I'm not 100% sure. I may not have caught the light just right, so I don't know if they're growing through the quartz or it's just happened to be lined up that way. Ramsdellite, maybe, on gritite blades. Some more gritite blades. I had some really nice reflections off of that one. Sometimes I like the reflections in the flares. Again, gritite needles. This one I call the 4th of July because of the way the reflections of the light came off of them. Again, some more gritite needles on quartz. Going every which way. Opal on gritite needles. At least I think that's what that is. Opal. Again, opal on the gritite. Down here, it's or might be calcite. There's a possibility of being calcite. Grancyite on gritite blades. These I look more like the ones that I saw on Mindat, so I think they're rancite. And that's a 0.5 millimeter field of view in that one. Gritite blades inclusions in calcite, maybe? Again, showing the different growth patterns, different stages of mineral deposition. Hematite on gritite blades. Don't see too many of those either. They're usually covered with diorite. Ramsdellite, maybe. It looks like it may be ramsdellite on a gritite blade. But again, a different sort of a form looking to it. Another one of those ramsdellite maybes on gritite blades. Ramsdellite on hollandite needles on quartz. Again, these are the cylindrical ones rather than the space needle ones. There's some that have a space needle top sort of a look to them, but most of them look like they're cylinders. Ramsdellite on gritite on quartz. Opal, maybe, or maybe gypsum. A little rare as far as finding gypsum in there, but that one I wasn't sure of. Again, one of those needles with the opal or calcite or whatever coating on the needle. And again, on some amethyst. And another one with lots of different coatings and such growing out of the amethyst. I don't think this is a reflection. I think it started growing down here and kept going as the quartz grew too. This was a very interesting one. I had a hard time trying to get the angle just right. There is this reddish quartz, so iron stained or with some hematite in it or something. not quartz, calcite, excuse me, calcite, with those hematite inclusions going through this layer of calcite and poking out the other end, and then all on amethyst. Cryptolamine dendrites, I believe. Cryptomalane. Get my mouth around that one. And there might be some other things here too. There's some, maybe that rancieite or pyrolusite also. Hopefully have some of the same chemical in them. And again, this is more some of that bluish, maybe todorokite, and that bluish coating that may be todorokite on quartz. Ramstillite on hollandite needles or hematite needles, and question marks on quartz. Once I get past the first one, sometimes I can't figure out where to go from there. And I don't know what this is. This might be rancieite or pyrolusite up here with hematite, growing hematite needles, and it may be coating of ramstillite. Opal or gypsum, not sure which, is a close-up of it in the inset picture. And then little spheres of quartz crystals, maybe, growing on quartz. And I haven't the foggiest idea here. I don't know whether that's siderite or whether that might be rancieite or pyrolusite growing in here. But they're larger than most of the other rancieite and pyrolusite spheres that I saw. But then they've got a coating of probably quartz crystals, and heaven only knows what else is there. Again, an unknown. I'm not sure what. It could be hematite needles, but I'm not sure. And thank you. And do you have any questions? And I'll stop screen sharing.